Okay. There we go. Okay, let me just put this into presentation mode. All right, so this is where we are. You guys are meeting with me. So the purpose of our meeting really is for me to be able to share any updates that are coming up, and then share some of what's working from my perspective and from what the teachers have shared with me from their perspective, and then allow you to ask some questions and share what's working for you and to learn from each other. I did come prepared with one question that a grandparent had called me about early on, and so I did some research and found some answers. But I found last night, you guys actually, the parents actually have better answers than the articles I found. So like I said, you guys are where the rubber meets the road. You're in the trenches and you're the ones that are doing the work. So from my perspective, what's working? You guys, the parents, just, you know, every year I've been in education, you know, I always say, and I always mean it, that really we are a team, parents and school together. But with distance learning coming in, it really has taken on a new meaning, and you parents are just really stepping up to the plate. And that's just not from my perspective. The teachers are just really sharing with me, you know, how appreciative they are of their parents. Another thing under what's working, I'm going to take straight from the teachers. In fact, it was, I think it was Maureen Young who said that, you know, even though there have been glitches and technology and, you know, long hours, she is excited to come to school every day and open up that Zoom meeting and see the kids. And I know I feel the same way, having been able to start out the year with one of our third grade classes. You know, seeing those kids is why we're here. Update with technology. One thing we passed out over, I think over 250, 300 Chromebooks. I actually haven't, it's in a spreadsheet, but I haven't actually counted them. And we've had some glitches where we've had to exchange some out. We've been able to pass out tablets to our kindergarten classes. We're still waiting for our TK tablets. They're not in yet. But we also know that there have been some real technology glitches. That being said, the good news is that new laptops have been ordered for the teachers. What we found out is that the desktops that they have, not only are they kind of towards the end of their term, we always, you know, like I think it's every 7 years we get new computers, and this is year 6. But also they really weren't built for what we're doing today. And we tried to piecemeal it by buying new cameras, buying new speakers, and that's helped some. But the teachers will have brand new laptops. I found out that I don't get one. I was not happy, but maybe they ordered extra. So I'll just keep using my one from home. So that's a good thing about technology. I think something else that's working is the materials distribution has actually run pretty smoothly, and that's thanks to the parents. They're doing a good job maintaining social distance. They're coming in, picking up. We had just, I think from the TK2 distribution, we maybe only had like 5 or 7 packets left that hadn't been picked up, and that's why I extended the hours for 3 through 6. You know, because I know you guys are working too, so they'll be available till 5. So I'll be here and I'll put them away after 5. Another big thing, something that's coming up, our reading intervention groups. You guys have heard us talk about blended before. It's not going to be quite the same, but we are starting our small group reading intervention next week. So that's a real positive. And then the PTA, we have our, I wonder if there's any PTA board members here on this site. I mean, on our meeting tonight. Anyway, PTA wants you to really look at joining. I've actually joined already the totem, And that part's pretty easy to do, but I would say they are going to put out directions. I actually suggested them to do a little video showing something, because if you don't put your phone number in, you don't get the secret code to join the community flyer app. And that's what I want, because that's where all of the information for upcoming things, PTA and otherwise, will happen. Other than that, I know that Carrie Wynn does a wonderful job on the PTA Facebook. So everything I send to her, so I send her the pictures from our Spirit Day, and I send the materials distribution, lunch stuff, all that kind of stuff I send to Carrie, and she posts there, as well as us putting it on our website. So membership is still just $5. And you can sign up as many people. Hey, sign up your dog, sign up your cat, sign up as many family members as you want or you can. But it is still just $5. PTA, I will tell you, this year for the budget, they know that technology and getting more apps and all those kind of things are going to be a very big need for the teachers, and so they really put a large amount of their budget straight back to the teachers. So that that's where they really put a lot of their effort, because we're not going to be having field trips right now. As of now, we're not going to have those big field trips that were going on. No Coloma. We're hoping that some of the things that happened at the end of the year might still be able to happen. For example, I think, Westminster Woods usually happens at the beginning of the year. So, but, since we're not going to be putting money to that, they wanted to put it straight into the classrooms. Okay. All right. So also, to make sure that with PTA, to make sure that we hear your voice, make sure that you join those meetings. Come on to those general meetings and come to the meeting. It's actually, we have what they call Parent Corner, which allows the parents to share their input also. We want to make sure that the parents have a chance to share their concerns, what's working, share the positive too. So here is a question that I started. A grandparent had actually contacted me because she was concerned because she didn't have a desk for her because she was the one that was watching the kids, and so because we had said, well, make sure you have a good learning space. So I did some research, and I've got the links. As I said, the slides will be posted, but I have the links set up here. And these two, they actually come from a homeschool, two different homeschool publications. But then Edutopia is always a great place to look for things. But I kind of pulled some of the important things that I got from there. The first they said was, plan for your child. Some kids need to stand, and then working at the kitchen table while they're standing is okay. Maybe they're a wiggly person. Maybe they need quiet around them. So your kids well, so plan for what your kiddo needs. Your kiddo might need more breaks. Do some work, take a break. Do some work, take a break. So, that's okay. That flexibility can happen. You don't need to build an addition onto your house and call it the Little Red Schoolhouse. You don't even need a whole spare room, but it should be consistent. One thing that they suggested is kind of a learning box at the kitchen table. We have a first grader who comes every morning. Staff members are allowed to have their kids supervised here on campus, and we have this first grader who comes with a little cardboard box that has been decorated by him. His ABCs are inside of it. He sets it on the table in front of him, and it's like a little study carrel. It's like his own little office. But that can be at the kitchen table, or you can have a designated corner. And a lot of the photos, the Spirit Day photos, I saw a lot that the parents have done where they've just taped up their alphabet poster or their multiplication facts or something, that's kind of designated a little area in the living room or something. So most of us have like grown-up size chairs at home. And this is one, I can't remember which of these two articles, I think it was this second one. they didn't have a picture, and I wish they would have, but basically I'm in a kind of an adult sized chair. It's got a flat back and a flat bottom. And so what I do is I never sit at the back anyway, but if they sit more towards the edge of the chair so that their legs can come out with a 90-degree, you want this 90, 90, 90. And if it's too tall for their feet, if their feet are dangling, then you could put like a shoebox or something under and put a pillow behind them to kind of keep them pushed to the edge of the chair, and maybe a pillow on the seat or a little wiggle cushion to help them be comfortable. Those were some of the things that were suggested in here. And the big key is having those materials available and organized. There was a link to a video in one of these, and it was 14 minutes. So I just said, I'm not showing you a 14-minute video when I got bored with it too. But these are just some ideas for how to set up that learning space. And I know that you guys might have some really good ideas yourselves. Okay, so that's the big kind of, you know, my talking at you. And now I would like some time for you guys to share. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for right now. And I had kind of asked for you guys to come with a pause, like what's something that's working well for you? And then if you have set up a learning space, you don't have to answer any or all of these. And then also questions you might have of each other or of me. So I am going to, because I believe that that is the end. And so I'm going to stop my screen share and open it up. So if you have a question, it's a small enough group, you can just shout it out. So, yep, Andrea?
Tracy, I don't have a question, but I just want to give, gosh, an amazing thank you to Mrs. Miller for my second grader. She's done really very brief Zoom meetings, which is really developmentally appropriate, and he's getting the information and then he's able to take it off and do the work that he needs to do. Really clear expectations in all of her videos and assignments, and she's been super responsive when he's not confused, but I am confused. He's like explaining it to me, and then I check in with her, and he's been correct, but she's been so clear and positive and supportive. So just a big appreciation for Mrs. Miller and the second grade team.
Great. I will pass that on.
I have a question, comment, concern. It's kind of where Lily is struggling the most that I've noticed is for the assignments on Seesaw, when she has to use like the mouse to write or even circling things. It's very hard for, and I know there's a lot of kids I'm sure that are struggling, but for her, because she's such a perfectionist, because she even like just circling a word, she like does it 5 times before. I did get her a new mouse. I got her one of those ergonomic, I got her mouse like this that has the little roller ball on it. Yeah. And I think she was working with that. Today was her first day working with that, and that seemed to help a little bit, with that. But then the other thing is the typing, because she gets frustrated because they've had no typing taught. So like knowing where the letters are. So I meant to ask Miss Malavi before we did this, but do you know, is there a way, like for some of the writing assignments, can we just write it on, because I know you can take pictures, on the Seesaw. So can I just have her write stuff out and take a picture, of the assignment instead of trying to write out on the computer?
Yeah, that would definitely be my suggestion, especially at second grade, because in first grade they had they started a little bit of the typing program, and they didn't do a lot of it. So yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm not her teacher, so just reach out and share your concern that, hey, this is a struggle, but absolutely, you should be able to write and then take a picture and submit.
Because we have done that, like with some of the assignments. And there's definitely, like Andrea said, I mean, the stuff the second grade, they are so organized with the paperwork coming home. I mean, Megan has it like each week, like in a packet, and then at the top of the page she's got the day that this paper is for, Monday, Tuesday, whatever really helps. And then they sent home the completed work envelope, which you know, as soon as she finishes something, we just stick it right in that. It's right there in her little area. I've created a little area for her in my craft room, so she has her own space to do, you know, so her stuff's all together in one spot for, you know, her to do it. But those are the like the biggest struggles that we've had, you know. And again, the Zoom, the keeping them brief with just brief you know, instruction for what they need to be doing and stuff seems to be well.
Great. And Andrea?
Yeah, Angie, we had sort of a similar thing with like the circling, and he was getting kind of caught up in like the circle being perfect. And so we got these, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like what you would use for a touch screen, and they can use them on the mouse pad, and it's made like the circling and all of that much easier. So maybe Lily could try something like that too.
On the mouse, so you just use it on the mouse pad?
On the Chromebook, on the mouse pad, and then it's much easier. I don't know why it's easier to use this than the finger, but it's much less like the shakiness that was happening when he would do it with his finger. So it makes it a little easier.
Where you got that?
I just ordered it. I ordered like a pack of 20 on Amazon. It was like 20 pens for $5.
Okay. But you don't remember what they were? Is it just a style, like a generic stylus pen, or?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great idea. Great idea. I see the kids. I love seeing the kids.
If you just twist it, it's a pen.
Cool. Is it easier for you to use?
Yep.
Any other questions or how you set up a workspace? So Angie, you're setting up a little corner in your craft room.
Yeah, we've got, I talked with her parents, and because, you know, she's 50-50 her time with their mom and dad, I talked with them before school started. I felt that having just one space for her, you know, to keep all her stuff organized, and also our house is the only one where there's like an actual separate room for her to be able to go, because she gets very distracted by her little sister when she's here. So we thought, you know, I just thought that it'd be easier for her to have one space where all of her you know, all the supplies that she needs is already here. So there's no, well, that's at mommy's or that's at daddy's. And also the whole, well, that's not how mommy does it, and that's not how daddy does it. And I think it's helpful, and knock on some wood, but so far the parents have gotten her here well before. We haven't been late. It's better than school.
And Andrea, you have multiple kids. You've got 3, right? 3 on the computer at a time.
Just 2.
2. So how is that working for you? What are the challenges? How have you worked to overcome them?
They've been doing pretty well, both managing their own Zoom meetings. I mean, we've had some technical stuff because we're both working from home as well. So sometimes when all 4 of us are Zooming at the same time, it can be a bit much, but yeah, it's been fine technology wise so far. Yeah.
Good. So one thing I forgot to put on there on the what's happening, kind of what's coming up is, and a question I have for you, the Warm Wednesdays. Have you been able to have your kids participate in any of those things, or do you have any questions about that? How can we do a better job messaging? And then we have some things adding to that. Yeah, what are you thinking?
That was actually my question with the Warren Wednesdays. I thought we kind of had it down, and then today when I kind of look first thing in the morning, because I'm working from home while he's doing this, and I have a 3rd grader, but it didn't seem like he didn't have very much today, so I have a feeling we might be missing something. I'm just not quite sure how it's working.
So would it be useful?
Supposed to log in?
Yeah, would it be useful if when I get those links, I mean, I know that they get pushed to the teachers and the teachers push them out, but there might have been a little bit of gap today. I think all 3 of you are in Miss Lisa's class, right? I'm pointing to your picture on my screen. But maybe, you know, would it be useful if we put that schedule on the district website too, or our site website, so you could just click and find it?
I would think something where we can go and look to see are they supposed to log in at a certain time? What projects they're supposed to do? Because I'm just kind of not, I feel like we're missing something.
Yeah. So I know that Lisa Warren, that's the Warren from Wednesday, she's our PBL teacher, and she sends out a schedule, and during her Zoom times is when she shares. So there's the grade levels come at different time, and those links are there.
Okay.
And that's where the kids kind of get their assignments. Some pieces that we're looking to add to that is all 3 schools have chipped in together to pay a PE person to do some PE lessons recorded that would be then accessed at that time, and maybe even having the videos posted for people to use later. Another thing, those of you who have older kids, Rose Brown is our computer lab teacher, and she is working right now to develop some computer classes that would be on Wednesdays. Kids could sign up for we'd cap it at a certain amount, and if they didn't get to do it this Wednesday, they could do it another Wednesday. And she wants to start out teaching them using Google Slides, or using a Google slide and adding animation to make holiday cards. So that would be, you know, first they do a Halloween card, and then they get better to be able to do a Thanksgiving card, and then they should be able to make birthday cards on their own to send. So those are some things we'll be adding. Music will be starting. For our 3rd grade students, and our 4 through 6, you should have received something from Kara for music signups. If not, I'll make sure that that gets out again. So those are some of the things that we're trying to add to that Wednesday. Because
so was there a Miss Warren today? Because I feel like I was clicking around in the Google Classroom, and I found that I think he was supposed to log in at 11. It says 11 to 11:15, but he didn't, because he was told that he was supposed to go back at 11:20.
Okay, so there was some miscommunication, I think, that did happen today. Some of the grade levels are doing something alternative to Warren Wednesday. The idea of Warren Wednesday was to give the kids some of the you know, things that aren't just reading and math, because that's the focus. That's the real focus for the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday days. But we want to make it that to be where they can do more in depth, or they can do music, they can do PE. But it does seem like, because I've heard some parents, more than just this group, share that there was just a little bit of a glitch in getting that out today. So I will make sure that we can keep up with that. And again, maybe if we can get them posted on our website too, that way the kiddos could click on it, and that would be the schedule for the week, or they would know what time to log in and such.
So Tracy, if our students, like, they go to their classroom Zoom at 8:30 and then they miss the Zoom with Miss Warren, because that's what happened with us today. We missed the Zoom because we couldn't find the link, but he did all the work. Do we need to be reaching out to Miss Warren and letting her know as far as attendance goes, or just do the work, or what should we do?
Well, the work, because she created like a Warren, not Google class for 2nd grade. It was like through Seesaw, didn't she?
Yeah,
Through Seesaw.
So she has, so you don't need to reach out. If he did the work through Seesaw, it will be there. And she has an assistant that's working with her that is checking those records, and, you know, to help give feedback and things like that. So if he did it, then you're good.
Okay, great, thanks.
So, but that is so with the Zoom conflicts on Wednesdays, probably I will ask our 2nd grade teachers to change their time, because she's working with across the district. And so if it conflicts all the time, we want to make sure that can be fixed.
Yeah, it wasn't a conflict. It was, we couldn't find the Zoom link for hers. Okay. And then we found it at like 11, but then it was over. So it wasn't a conflict. It was user error, but I wasn't sure if he needed to check in with her afterwards.
So it does sound like having those links in a different place for parents, like, oh, I can't find it. Well, I know I can go here, would be good. So.
And I think it's the same with the work. I had a similar experience as Barbara, where the work isn't in the place that I'm used to going for the rest of Carlos's work. And so it's missed something. And then we have to make up that work. And then at the same time, we had another assignment assigned today. And I just didn't know where to go. And so that was in my email because we don't use Seesaw.
Right. You're using Google Classroom, right?
So we have now for Miss Lisa's class 3 Google Classroom pages that we're trying to keep track of. And so,
well, the nice thing is you'll be down to 1 now.
Yeah.
And that was actually a suggestion from the actually from a teacher I talked to today, but also from the TK through first meeting that I'm going to put out to staff also, is that when they're having their parent meetings, that they spend one chunk of time on their parent meetings, like for example, 3rd grade, going through with the parents and showing them how to access all the parts of the Google Classroom and where they're going to find the assignments, where they're going to turn the work, where the, you know, those pieces, so you know where to go. And for 2nd grade, you know, Seesaw, if there are any, you know, questions about those pieces, because that, you know, that would be very helpful for our parents, I think, to just have that kind of track through. So yeah, those are some really consistency of where to find stuff. Any other concerns that you, or things that are working, positives or concerns or things that you think that you could get some help from the group?
I had a question about school pictures. Some other districts are doing school pictures, and I'm just wondering if that's something that we'll be able to do.
Yeah, and that actually brings up some, see, I should have added it to my slide from the previous meeting. Yes, we are going to have a picture day. Kathy is working with Hawk Photography. It's going to be, I don't want to say drive by. It's going to be a drive up picture. And San Miguel, I like what they're doing. They're actually setting it late afternoon to early evening to be more flexible with parent times. It would be, you would have a scheduled appointment, you'd drive up, you'd get out, you'd have a nice picture taken, and it would be all purchased online. So we're working, and we'll get that schedule out as soon as we've got it set with Hawk Photography. That also brings up the spirit wear, because when we did our spirit day, you know, a lot of parents who, especially our TK kinder parents, like, I want some shirts, when are we going to do that? Or like, my kid outgrew his shirt, when are we? So we're actually working with Melanie Bolin, who is on the PTA board. She said, hey, I'll take that off you guys' plate. And I said, please. And anyway, we're working with a company to again, it would be the online sales, and whether they would deliver here and they'd be ready for during the materials distribution, or like the yearbooks were last year, where they could just be mailed directly to you. So we will be building those pieces in. So good questions. And ask your kids any ideas for more spirit days. I want to do a spirit day at least once a month, maybe twice on Fridays. And then we will also have Friday assemblies that I'll just do a little video thing and push out to the teachers to show the kids at the beginning. They might want to do it on their Wednesday instead of Friday, but this week it's going to be Friday. I think I'm going to start off with recognizing birthdays. So we'll recognize the August and September birthdays of the month that we can push out. So, because that's something we don't do when they're here, and it'd be a nice way to recognize, you know, who has a birthday this month. So, but we'll start with August and September this time. So. Any other questions or? Well, I know that you guys are being, you're being very kind. I know it's not been all perfect, but I also think that there's some real value in what's going on. Again, I've been able to see the 3rd grade, you know, firsthand, and I'm looking forward when I drop into the Zoom meetings as we move forward with all the grade levels. And I see some real learning going on. And you know, I know that we missed a lot of school at the end of last year. And again, the parents stepped into the gap, but we didn't have a solid plan at that time, because it was kind of like, are you kidding? We're really doing this? But we did spend more time, we spent a lot of the summertime kind of planning what it would look like. Right now, we're looking at probably continuing with the distance learning at this time, at least through December. You probably have read that the governor has allowed some in person, but what that will look like, it's not going to be, it's not even up to our hybrid plan. It's the numbers are much lower. So we'll have to spend several weeks figuring, okay, how would this look? Who would we look at? Because it was supposed to be, the way I read it, is just targeted groups. So as we have more information, we will definitely be sharing with parents. But, for right now, until our county can really get this under control, I think I'm going to be meeting you via Zoom more often than not.
Well,
Although
I have an even more appreciation for teachers doing this. I mean, and I worked there and saw what they did, and having my sister who's a teacher at a different school, watching what she went through over the summer, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But you guys all know our teachers, and the thing that, this is like my 13th year here, and I just wouldn't want to work anywhere else right now. They're here till, 8 o'clock at night, and, because they want what's best for your kids too. Your kids are their kids. You have to share. So, but they're in it for the kids, and we will always keep on giving more professional development. There have been a lot of, there have been glitches with Zoom. So that's the technology. New computers are not going to fix everything, because some of it's Zoom. Some of it could be home bandwidth. We've had staff meetings here where we're all at school. And I know that we have good Wi-Fi because we've got that, what is it called, that black fiber or whatever, we tied into the really high speed, cable internet. So I know that we have the capacity, but there still are glitches where, our Zoom meetings freeze. I'm going, okay, I know we've got Wi-Fi, but it's frozen. And I think a lot of that could be, that Zoom, is being used so much that they are continually having to increase their capacity too. So anyway, I plan to have meetings once a month, because, and you don't have to feel that you have to come to every meeting. I will probably keep doing the broken, meetings by grade level, only because I think that we can target our own concerns better and help because a third grade, what's going on in third grade is going to look a lot different than sixth. So why lump everybody together? And also, if there's 50 of us, it's hard to actually have a conversation. So I would probably I will continue taking, 1 week of the month to just kind of go over what's happened and what might be coming up. And then your teachers should be having meetings a couple of times a month, just to keep you on board. And again, if you can't make it, that's okay. But just to give you the opportunity for that parent communication. We found that was one of the big keys that we didn't have in place in the spring that we really wanted to change for this year.
I feel like I see a really big difference, and I'm very appreciative and thankful of all the work that you and all of the teachers and the rest of the staff have put in. And for both my kindergartner and my third grader, I feel like the teachers are all very responsive. And my son, my third grader, is already learning, multiplication, and he's so excited. And I just like it's already, even with the glitches and the little things that have happened, I feel like it's still a much better experience for everybody across the board than it was at the end of last year. So that effort is definitely noticed, and I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for the feedback, Nikki. I mean, you guys, those people in Miss Lisa's class, they know, those of you who are in second grade, my very first Zoom meeting, I had to email out a panicked email to you guys, right, and say, okay, we're going to start in 30 minutes because it's not working right now. So it just, those things, and it had just been working at 8 o'clock. So, who knows? Anyway, I really think that together as a community, we're going to make this work, and it's going to be the best education that we are able to provide for our kids. So anyway, okay. Well,
Thank you, Tracy, for taking
all right.
the time
Well,
to do
with
this.
that,
Thank you for
yeah.
taking the time to do this.
Yeah,
oh,
thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, and thank you all for coming in.
See you next
Okay.
month.
See you
Bye.
next
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.